Well, the score sheet said the Pittsburgh Penguins played pretty well. Natural stat trick said the Penguins should have won. A lot more scoring chances, a lot more shots. But nobody who watched the Penguins game on Saturday would come away with that conclusion, as the Toronto Maple Leafs easily handle, embarrass, shellac, beat down the Pittsburgh Penguins 7-2 here at PPG Paints Arena. I am Dan Kingerski on the Pittsburgh Hockey Now platforms. How bad should we make this? I mean, we can get into the nuts and bolts of the game, which I suppose we should do as a bigger exposition of exactly what is going on. Because Saturday's game was not merely 60 minutes. It was, in fact, the culmination of the game we have been seeing. The negative trend, each step being a little worse, a little lower than the last. The trend began back in Sweden with a pair of real lackluster games against the Nashville Predators, and with only a few exceptions, most periods the Penguins have played over the last 3 weeks have been substandard. Now, taking a page from Dan Muse, who in his post-game press conference, I thought properly called out the nuance of what we're seeing, why the stats say one thing, at least the publicly available stats. I mean, there's always a huge difference between what we get publicly and what teams are able to ascertain with their advanced analytics department. Anyway, Muse and the nuance was that the Penguins had the puck in the Toronto zone. But he said when you look back at it, what did we create? What did we do with it? And that is a fundamental part. Look at the Penguins' left wings. Go down the list for the last couple of games, and even before that, I hate to say it, but the substandard talent they're plugging into the lineup. The last couple of games, it's been Kevin Hayes, Tommy Novak, Danton Heinen, and Joona Koppanen. 4 players certainly playing above their pay grade in spots in the lineup you wouldn't ideally want them. And with the exception of Kevin Hayes playing pretty well on Friday, there have been 0 results. And what you're having is essentially the centers and the right wings playing a little bit shorthanded. Before that, Connor Dewar was on the top line, playing the puck like a hand grenade. That didn't work. And so, as Sidney Crosby goes, so do the Penguins. And Evgeny Malkin kind of being surrounded right now. Anthony Mantha, 1 assist in his last 7 games. No goals. You know about Novak's struggle to make an impact. The third line, the rookies are having a tough go. Ville Koivunen, 2 assists, no goals, 13 games, certainly struggling to make an impact. Ben Kindle has not had an even strength point, 5-on-5. No 5-on-5 points since November 3rd. His 3 points in 9 games over that span have all been power play goals and points, including a power play goal on Saturday. Now, you don't expect the Penguins' power play to continue to convert at 31-32% for the rest of the season, and that's why there is a lingering bad taste Saturday. It wasn't just 60 minutes. It was the collision of just a lot of issues that have been festering and unfixed and unaddressed. I think we can safely say that Rutger McGroarty should be packing his bags as I record this, never to return to Wilkes-Barre unless he really earns it. The Penguins badly need some help, especially on the left wing, but even just a jolt in the lineup. It's not that Ben Kindle is playing poorly. It's just that that third line is poorly constructed. It's not that Evgeny Malkin is playing poorly. Evgeny Malkin showed some real jump and hop on the forecheck and getting after some pucks, especially earlier in the game when it was still competitive on Saturday. But what's he getting in return and help around him. And Sidney Crosby and Brian Rust have sort of been playing, 2-on-3 for quite some time since Ricard Raquel went out of the lineup. Now, I'm going to take one thing off the table. A lot of people saying, oh, well, they have a lot of injuries. Really? Toronto had to play a couple weeks without Austin Matthews. The Penguins' Friday victim, the Columbus Blue Jackets, playing without Boone Jenner and Kirill Marchenko. Injuries are a big part of the game, and certainly a lot of teams have bigger injuries than the Penguins. If they can't weather Ricard Raquel and Noel Acciari and Justin Brazeau being out of the lineup, well, then they are what we thought at the beginning of the season, and certainly not that team that had points in 8 straight games in October. It certainly seems that sound in the distance is the clock tower ticking. Is it midnight, and are they turning back into a pumpkin? What can Kyle Dubas do? What can Dan Muse do? There are certainly some changes that need to happen, and I would say fairly quickly, unless the results are acceptable. And that would certainly be an interesting gambit, wouldn't it? For all the talk, we're not trying to get worse. Now that things are trending in that direction, and there seems to be really no way to turn it around. You're just not going to, I think at this point, extract more from the left wingers. You're not going to extract more from the third pairing defenseman, or you're not going to get more from Parker Wotherspoon or Ryan Shea or the guys they have gotten pretty solid contributions from to this point of the season. So you're either going to ride it down or there are going to be changes. Avery Hayes is healthy in Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Rutger McGroarty, 4 goals in his first 4 games. I didn't check the box score on Saturday. Wilkes-Barre got kind of boat raced by Hershey 6-2. It was a terrible night for the organization. Hopefully Wheeling didn't look as bad as the top 2 teams. But there still needs to be some changes. It can't continue unless it's okay to continue. We haven't even touched Arturs Shilov's pulled after 21 minutes in his previous start, pulled after 25 minutes on Saturday. Shilov's has long been a guy who plays on adrenaline. When he was inserted into the playoffs in Vancouver, played lights out. When he came back for the regular season, the lights were out, but it wasn't a good thing. And he was sent back after 10 games, despite being forecasted to be with them the entire season. This season, he plays on adrenaline in the first month of the season, fighting for a spot, fighting to prove his NHL bona fides. Looks really good. October, first part of November. Has a shutout for 58 minutes and 50 seconds against Nashville over in Sweden, gives up a goal, and really hasn't been very good since. 1 win in his last 8 games does Shilov's have. His save percentage, they added a shot to his total on Saturday, which actually raised his save percentage from .886 to .890. It's fallen from .917 to .890 in those games. He's 1-4-3. None of it's good enough. And I think those are the words that Dan Muse used in the dressing room after the second period Friday. I suspect he'll have a few more words for the team on Monday morning in Philadelphia. Listen, I'm changing my travel plans so I can be there for the morning skate. I suspect we're going to see some shakeups before Monday morning. So I will be there at the skate, and if you're flying past you on the highway, just beep as I go and alert me to any rollers you see ahead. All right, that's it from PPG Paints Arena here. Just a nasty sort of lingering bad taste sort of night, and you wonder if the bottom is dropping out. That's where we stand. All right, like, share, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. In the meantime, have fun.